Shalom, Yahawah, the brother Ash'ibad, and I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And basically, this video is going to be entitled, "Do Not Let Your Woman Gad Abroad." And basically, this video is inspired by, a post I had seen on Instagram earlier today. And basically, it's a post that encapsulates the modern mindset of what this society allows women to do when it comes to their conduct, when it comes to them dealing with a man on any type of level. And more importantly, if you brothers were to read the comment section on this post on how a lot of women react when you have a mindset where you're not allowing the bullshit to happen. Because in this society, we understand through feminism, women empowerment, women liberation, quote unquote. If you try to tell a female, especially a modern day liberal female, who she should and shouldn't talk to, she gonna leave you. She gonna call you controlling, misogynistic. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you have some type of understanding, and if you look at the nature of a woman, and if you look at the nature and the spiritual energy of this society as a whole, you not checking and controlling what your woman should and shouldn't be doing, and who she should and shouldn't be talking to, especially if you taking her seriously, it's gonna lead to nothing but failure and chaos and destruction in your relationship. If y'all brothers check out this channel, I watch this channel from time to time called Strong Successful Male, and another channel called They Did What. There's this dude, I think he's an Edomite, and he basically has daily videos talking about all the men, whether they be young, middle age, older, 50s, things like that. And all these dudes have wives, and there was red flags, and eventually they get cheated on. And there's dozens and dozens and dozens of channels all throughout YouTube and all these social media platforms exposing the nature of a woman. And this is what happens if you first and foremost fall to the bull crap about how women should be doing this and you should let your woman do that. Essentially, you're allowing your woman to control the relationship, and it never ends good. And especially when it comes to you being a spiritual man, you understanding the Bible and how this society is supposed to conduct and how the women are supposed to conduct themselves, there should be no reason in hell you should believe this. Now let's read this, because it says, your girlfriend shouldn't be talking to her exes, any guy best friend, any man who likes her, any man who liked her, any guy she used to like, no exceptions. This is not called being controlling. It is called having boundaries and being a self-respecting man. And in this society, more and more, you start to see grown men who are in relationships, and you brothers might scroll on TikTok, right? You might scroll on Instagram. They be having these little funny TikToks with a dude and his woman or whatever. And bruh, she's dressed like a whore, dressed like a harlot for all to see. A lot of times when y'all brothers see these women trying to get all this sexual validation, many of these women are in relationships. You got some dudes out here who allow their women to be a OnlyFans thought. You know what I'm saying? Selling her body for money and things like that, and clout. And anybody who allows their woman to be shared by another man, you are by proxy either a simp or you are just extremely misguided. Because again, we all have our own opinions on these things when it comes to what people in the world say. But according to the Bible, again, you as a self-respecting man, when you meet a woman and you can tell that she's quality, bruh, you have to lay down some parameters, because it is just natural that a woman is gonna go off course. She's gonna start looking at other dudes. She's gonna start entertaining other dudes, and then you're gonna end up getting your heart broken, or you're gonna be devastated when one day when you come home and the woman you thought was godly, you thought she was spiritual, you thought she was right for you, she got another dude schlang-a-lang in her mouth, bro. So first and foremost, why would you allow your girl to be talking to her exes? Because if any of y'all brothers had an ex, right, especially when you're in the world, the first thing that you think about that chick is all the quote-unquote good times you might have had, especially if it was a woman in a relationship that you enjoyed. So if you have a woman who's still talking to her ex, and I'm not talking about a woman who has, a baby father and things like that. I'm talking about a woman who dated a man for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Again, many of these women get imprinted by that man. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about certain ex chicks that I used to date, I have certain memories, especially of those that I had a deep connection with. And I'm a guy. So when it comes to a woman, if she's still chopping it up, talking to that dude, they're on good terms, or if you ever notice a woman is very vindictive about a past relationship and she constantly is looking at a guy, it's either because he broke her heart or things didn't work out with him, so now she's going on to you. And if any woman is still in constant contact with her ex, that's a telltale sign. Now we got the guy best friend. Again, men and women can't be friends because there's always going to be a sexual aspect between a man and a woman. Anytime I speak to a woman in modern times, unless I forcibly force myself to be very platonic, more often than not, if a woman is attractive, there is a small chance that you may, have some sort of sexual tension with that woman. So again, if you're a best friend with a female and she looks very attractive, again, that's a telltale sign. And y'all brothers obviously understand the scriptures actually speak on it, is that if a woman has a man, you shouldn't even be having a conversation with her. Let me actually get the scripture real quick. All right, this is Sirach chapter 9 verse 9. It says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in your arms, and spend not your money with her at the wine, lest your heart, meaning your mind, incline unto her, and so through your desire you fall into destruction. And this is a very, very powerful verse, because essentially what it's speaking on is that, first and foremost, if you know a woman has some sort of tie with another man, you shouldn't even be dealing with her on any level. I know a lot of people in this society say, oh, well, men and women can be friends, and if I got a connection with that person, even when I'm about to read in the comment section of that post, there's many chicks in there talking about, oh, well, if you want me to do this and I already got a connection, hey, that's too bad. Okay, cool, you wasn't meant for me anyway. Because at the end of the day, if you got a male best friend, y'all brothers know what a lot of these females be doing with the male best friend. And you can look, if you got any type of discernment, you can tell if a woman got the hots for another dude. She may try to Salakia, the video stopped. But y'all brothers know about how these females are in modern times. I mean, come on, 50 Cent got a hit single based off the aspect, if I was your best friend, I want you around all the time. Bro, he's letting you know that a man and a woman can't be friends, especially a man who's a woman's quote-unquote best friend. Because how are they a best friend? What, talking all the time? Going out, enjoying themselves. And again, men and women naturally, especially if a woman is attractive and a man is attractive in the eyes of a woman, they're going to naturally start to flirt, look at each other a certain way. And again, a woman, she has an inherent nature to go and put herself out there when she's around another man, which is why, again, y'all brothers should not even have a woman around not only a male friend of hers, but also around your own posse of friends. Always want to separate your woman from your friends. I wouldn't even put them around brothers in the truth. Not saying that brothers in the truth are wicked, but again, the nature of a woman and a man is to come together in a certain way. So if she's not dealt with in order, she's not around you that same time, I wouldn't allow her to get too familiar with my friends, because there's been so many stories of a female who ended up having sex with your best friend, your brother, your cousin. You mean, you got stories out there where a woman smashing her husband's father, all type of crazy stuff. Why do you think the Most High specifically stated in the Torah that fornication is when a man deals with somebody in his close family? Because familiarity breeds contempt. Not contempt as in a bad way, but you start to like that person. You start to like the personality. She's starting to laugh at that dude's jokes. I mean, it's very obvious. You see what I mean? Now, getting back into that post. All right, it says any man who likes her. That's pretty obvious. Why would you want to be around why would you want your woman to be around a guy who likes her? Because at the end of the day, in this society, many men don't give a damn if you got a female, if she got a man, if she got a husband. Bruh, that don't mean nothing. You see a lot of these tweets and all these TikToks talking about, okay, it's just competition between him and me. I'm the side nigga, so it's just two competition. Compared to if she's single, I gotta compete with 20 other niggas. That's how a lot of dudes think. They'd rather go for a female that's taken than a female who's quote unquote single in this society, right? Any man who liked her, because at the end of the day, especially a carnal man, it can be at moment's notice before he starts trying to deal with her. Any guy she used to like, that's pretty obvious. A woman saying she used to like a man, but certain things didn't work out, blah, 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 that's her crush. Again, a woman's going to come back into her basic aspects. And he said no exceptions. Why did he say no exceptions? Because when you brothers start to negotiate with a woman on who she can and can't see, especially dealing to a man, you're giving her too much liberty. If you set up the standards and the parameters from the beginning of the relationship, you stop a lot of this confusion. A lot of dudes will first meet a chick and think, oh, it's cool if you chill with your friend. Oh, it's cool if you have a male best friend. Oh, it's cool if you still, in contact with your ex or ex guys you used to talk to on Instagram. And then they start to realize that the female is starting to step out on them, and they try to reel it back in. But she's like, no, you already gave me this. I'm not going back. And then y'all start getting caught in too deep. You see what I mean? And just continue on, it says this is not called being controlling. It is called having boundaries and being a self-respecting man. And essentially, y'all brothers, when you start to grow and you start to understand the actual proper dynamic of a healthy and sound relationship, you start to understand that in order for you to have a woman in this society, you have to lay down plain ground rules. Because if you give a woman an inch, especially a lot of these worldly women, they'll take them out. And even when it comes to sisters who understand that they're Israelite, again, they have a similar nature. And again, the woman is a weaker vessel. You can see and look at the appearance of a female and think, wow, she looks so virtuous. But at the end of the day, she's just in the flesh, just like you, and she falls short just like you. So you want to prevent these things from happening, compared to trying to commit surgery on a relationship because you didn't move with discernment and set parameters from the beginning. So I want to get into some scriptures in regards to that. So let's go to Sirach chapter 25. All right, so this is Sirach chapter 25 and 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And this is a loaded statement because we understand that, it was Eve who was beguiled by the serpent. Again, showing you even from the beginning that a woman's mind can be heavily manipulated, and that you as a man, you have to be her center, you have to be her foundation, and you can't allow her to bring you down with her. You have to move through order and strength. But more importantly, verse 25, it says, never let a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And I looked at the definition of to gad. According to the Bible, means to walk about, to rove or ramble idly without any fixed purpose. So if you have a woman, she's constantly bored, she constantly has nothing to do throughout the day, and she wants to try to entertain herself with, speaking with other men, or just trying to get into a lot of these like love and hip hop, drama filled bullshit. The TV, social media, YouTube, the internet, that's a way for your woman to get programmed. And in this society, the vast majority of these women are getting programmed on liberalism. Megan Thee Stallion, who's the new chick out? Mulatto. The City Girls. And that stuff is a woman is very impressionable. You see what I'm saying? So if a woman that you're talking to and you're vetting this woman, trying to see if she's really about what she says she is, you feel like she's a good candidate to build with or to take seriously, look and see how, enveloped she is with modern, philosophies. Is she constantly on her phone? Can she not go a day without being on her phone? Does she always have to be active on social media? Telltale sign that you shouldn't deal with her. And I'm gonna keep it real. If I'm taking a woman seriously, I'm not allowing her to be on social media all that time. Point blank, period, because it's not worth it, bro. You see? So essentially, you don't want your woman dealing with all these random dudes and things like that, because oftentimes what happens is that you're giving her too much opportunity to fall into temptation. You have to understand what type of society we're in. Let's go to 2 Timothy. So this is 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. So the scripture says that in these last times, people will be covetous. And what more prized possession of a man are other people covetous of than if you have a good woman, if you have a beautiful woman, if you have a somewhat virtuous woman. So continuing on, it says, without natural affections, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So a lot of times in this society, many people will break their word. A lot of times you have a woman and you give her that opportunity, say, nah, you're not gonna do that. She said, nah, babe, I'm not gonna do it. A lot of times she may go back on her word. That's why the colloquialism in this society is you are a man of your word. Because more often than not, especially a liberal woman, she can tell you one thing today and mean something completely different. Not even 2 hours later, bro. 2 minutes later, Continuing on, verse 4, it says, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yahawah. And essentially in a society based off of do whatever you want and enjoy whatever pleasure you want, especially in this American society that vast majority of brothers live in, a woman is going to want to, many women are going to want to pleasure themselves and pleasure their mind and stimulate their mind and entertain themselves opposite or contrary of being a lover of the Most High. Because how do you love the Most High? By keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. And when y'all brothers instill the Bible and many of the teachings of the Bible on a modern day woman, there are many things that she's going to scoff at. Not all women, but I'm saying the vast majority of them are not going to want to allow a man to be her head. Not going to allow her to take directions and corrections from a man that has knowledge and wisdom and is, trying his best to be righteous in the eyes of the Most High. So essentially, when you understand that you're in a wicked and adulterous generation and the vast majority of people are wicked by nature and they're not bound by any sorts of moral standard and ethics, then you allowing your woman to just constantly be out there doing these things with this person, being so involved, especially with people that she used to talk to, that is very stupid, and that's very foolish and brutish, to be quite honest with you. All right, now let's go to Sirach 26. So this is Sirach 26 and 8. It says, a drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. So again, if you allow a woman in an environment where not only this is talking about her being drunk as far as like physically, but also it can be a drunken spiritually, the spirit of the whore of Babylon. You see what I'm saying? Because essentially a whore is somebody who goes into every street, every house, and doesn't have any shame. But a true woman in her proper essence, she likes to stick with her own. She likes to stay in her own home. She likes to deal with her matters privately. And she likes to focus on what? Her husband. But a woman who likes to gather abroad, she won't have any shame. She won't feel any ridicule for her doing things out of the ordinary. So verse 9, it says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids, just showing you a sign of a female who more than likely is a former bust down, or behind your back she's dealing with men even though she's telling you she's not. And again, for those of y'all brothers dating a woman, bro, don't allow your woman to dress like a thought, because you can tell the countenance of a female based off of how she dressed. Certain jakes, bro, y'all got y'all women out there dressed like a full-fledged harlot, but you calling that your girl, even though you know the nature of a woman. You literally setting yourself up for disaster. You got your woman coming around, many different events. You trying to show her off. Bro, to be honest with you, the most smart thing to do is to hide your woman from as many people as possible. Not saying that you're ashamed of your woman, but you should block access that people have into your relationship. People like to tweet about their relationship, post about their relationship, show everything about their relationship because they're trying to get vain validation and glory from other people that a lot of times you allow to see the spirit of Satan, to come into your business. Because if you're giving all these people different access to your female, and even giving them the opportunity to access your female, you're allowing at any moment a demonic spirit to come upon somebody to try to tempt her. You see, just like example, it's much easier for brothers to avoid porn by completely getting off of social media than by going on social media and having it at a moment's notice. You see what I mean? So if a female is constantly on social media, or if you're allowing your relationship business and what you have with that woman to be put out on Front Street, you're giving many people the opportunity to come after your female, bro. Point blank, period. That's why it's very important for you to monitor how often your female is on social media, because I don't care who a woman is. At the end of the day, we're all in our flesh, and it's very easy for things to go astray. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 6. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 6. It says, be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counsel of 1,000. And you can apply this when it comes to your relationship. Whether you brothers be married, you brothers be trying to take a woman seriously, dealing with her, trying to build with her, but she should come to you with her problems, especially when it comes to a relationship. Now, if you met the woman and she had friends from the world, like female friends, there's nothing wrong with her talking to them and venting, because at the end of the day, you don't want to hear a woman complaining 24/7. But oftentimes, especially in this modern day society, whenever a woman's going through hard times, she started to post her problems on Instagram, talk to her quote unquote male friend. The male friend might have not had no vag in a week, 2 weeks. You never know, bro. A lot of times dudes be waiting in the cut for the moment when a woman is vulnerable, so that way they can strike while the iron is hot. Let's say you and your woman, you had an issue. Let's say you and your woman was dealing with something, and now all of a sudden she mashed, and you and her ain't really talking. Let's say she did something, you had to, quit contact with her for a few days. hey man, that dude who's sitting on the sidelines, that could be his opportunity. I done seen it happen so many times. That's why, again, you want to keep everything in-house. And to be quite honest with you, you brothers should know when and how to manage certain pitfalls that you and your woman might have in your relationship. And also another thing you want to vet is to make sure that a woman doesn't love chaos. Because at the end of the day, if a woman loves that up and down, high-ranking emotion, anytime you have a lot of chaos in your relationship, again, that gives leeway for her to be dealing with emotions, for her to start thinking about something in that moment in order for her to go out and do something that she's later going to regret. You see? So that's why, again, it's very important for y'all to not deal with a woman who's constantly in a shitty mood, who's constantly up and down. You know, a lot of these women, they have, what is it called? Bipolar, where they're great one day, then depressed the next. If you're around somebody with that type of volatility emotionally, who can't control her, because every woman, at the end of the day, they're going to have a wide range of emotion. That's just their nature. But you can tell the difference in it. It's very different from somebody who came from a crazy childhood and she got all these tattoos because she's trying to shield her trauma and she acting a certain way, and then she just completely changed the next day. That may be a sign that, hey bro, she might love chaos, she might love the emotional roller coaster of being in a relationship with a man. That's not a good sign if you're dealing with a female like that. And just understand that, if you allow your woman all these avenues to speak with other men, you're essentially giving her the power. The reason why the Most High stipulates that a man can deal with more than one woman, and why a woman should be only dealing with her husband, is because, again, when it comes to a man, he's first and foremost a provider and a protector, and he is a source of wisdom. But also, especially when it comes to the man, I'm trying to find the right words to put this, is that you have more power whenever your woman is completely focused on you. You see, the reason why feminism does what it does is because it takes and strips the power, especially economically, but also societally, of a man, and it gives it all unto her. And many women don't even know what to do with it. That's why the Most High, when it comes to many scriptural matters, he deals with a man, because, no disrespect to any woman who might be listening to this, but a man is more capable of making more logical and sound decisions. You see? So again, if you have a woman and she has all these open avenues, at any moment she can think in her mind, I got 4 or 5 niggas, and no matter how good I think this dude is, a woman is only as loyal as her options. You see? And many brothers talk about that. Shout out COJ, he's one of the brothers who talk about that. So if you allow your woman to think that she has all these different options, that's gonna give her the liberty to do you dirty, waste your time, waste whatever you try to build with the female, and end up ruining it by messing with another dude, bro. And the last thing, the reason why you want to stipulate these things, is because at the end of the day, what a woman's true role and purpose in life is to be a great wife to a man and to be a great mother to her children. So at the end of the day, a lot of times when you can tell that a woman is willing to give up the exes, give up the worldly men who quote unquote liked her, set these parameters to where she's not going to be in the forefront of all these different strange conversations, it allows her to focus on what's most important in her life outside of serving the Heavenly Father, especially if she's a spiritual woman. But it's to make sure that her man is happy. And that's why you brothers got to have things in your life that you can occupy a woman's time. Because again, when you look at the definition of gad, it means to walk about, to roam or ramble idly. If you have a woman, you should be having different projects that you can allow her to help you on. Or I think a lot of men who are businessmen, they use their woman might be like a secretary, or she might be a certain type of worker. It's not necessarily because they need her to do that, but because it keeps her invested in trying to build the empire, build whatever kingdom that you're trying to build on this side. You see what I mean? So, allowing a woman to, do certain things, it not only keeps her mind occupied, but she becomes more invested and focused on you. If a woman is not invested in you and she hasn't put a certain amount of time into you, it's going to be very easy for her to sever that connection. That's why a lot of times, y'all brothers, you have to build up these connections with whatever woman you're dealing with, so that way if she ever comes into that moment where she has temptation, she can look back and see at everything that she's built with you, especially if she likes you for you. Now, if you're dealing with a woman who doesn't like you for you, it doesn't matter how invested she may be in. If she doesn't really like you for who you are and have a natural attraction to her, it's very likely she's just gonna use you for whatever she needs to and then leave you whenever she sees fit. But if you brothers found a woman who really likes you for who you are and wants to really build with you, if she ever comes into those situations where she might have a coworker, somebody trying to get to her, if she's so invested in you, it's gonna be a lot less likely for her to just throw that all away. You see? And also, just find a woman who has a life outside of social media, because the vast majority of these women, their life is all based off of social media. If y'all brothers can find a woman who likes to do certain things, predominantly if she likes to do things that you like to do, like me, I like to make music. That's why I want to find a woman who has a voice where we can work and develop on music. It just makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Or if you brothers like to, go on hikes and jog, find a woman who likes to do things like that. If you like to travel, find a woman who likes to travel. So that way she can start to think about things outside of just getting validation, because these women are galvanized by trying to get as much validation and external validation compared to getting validation from her man, her family, her kids if she has them, and just from the life that she's lived with the man that she's cling to. You see what I'm saying? So you should constantly be her focus, and that's a telltale sign that if she really wants to make things work with you, she's gonna get rid of all these outside forces, that try to come at her randomly. Because a lot of times a dude may see a chick on the Instagram, he may be back in town, he might try to hit the chick up like, yo, what's up? I know we ain't did this in a while. And again, if a woman ain't really for you, when them moments come up, she might do something like that, bro. And I want to end it on this scripture. Let's go back to Sirach chapter 26. So this is Sirach chapter 26:3. It says, a good wife is a good portion which shall be given in the portion of them that fear Yahawah. So a good wife is given unto a man who's a good man in the eyes of the Most High, right? Now let's go down and we'll go to verse 23. It says, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. And the reason why I read this is because many of the things that I've stipulated and that I've told you that I would use as a parameter if I was to get in a relationship with a woman, and I advise brothers to do as well, is that many women aren't going to agree with this. Many women are going to look at you like you crazy, right? But at the end of the day, if you have a strong set of boundaries and you have values and you don't just settle for anything, your standard for a woman is going to be high, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to find a good quality woman. But the only way a woman would actually agree to something like this is if you're making yourself something in her eyes. She can just easily replace a dude who living with his mom, working a minimum wage paying job, doesn't have any knowledge and wisdom. But when she sees how valuable you are, not only with just your money, because brothers got to take care of your woman and treat her well if she's doing good things for you, obviously. And just your personality, as far as like if you're a fun dude, if you have things going on for yourself, you're not letting yourself go, you're not a fat slob, things like that. But most importantly, if she values your spiritual wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and she can't get that anywhere else, she's not gonna leave. That's why a lot of these rich dudes, they have 2 wives, 3 wives. The reason why a woman would stay is because she knew how valuable he is. Now, we know in the ancient world, she was bound to that man, and if she stepped out, she would get killed. And there was a lot more shame around a woman who gathered abroad. And this time, it's a shameless society. So when you really look at it, if you want to find a rare gem of a woman who agrees to do things like this and has a certain mindset of things like this, then you as a man, you need to make yourself valuable, and not make yourself valuable for that woman, but because just you as a man, you want to constantly improve yourself day to day. But if you're going to be stipulating many of these things, it's going to be very few and far in between that a woman's going to agree to it. If you broke, if you have nothing, again, if you have nothing going on for yourself, if you just the regular average middle of the road nigga, especially a woman who looks fairly good, who looks pretty decent, she's like a 7 or above, she's not going to agree to you telling her to do all these things if you're not worth it in her eyes. So again, if y'all brothers require a high set of things, you yourself have to be on that same level. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And let's just read some of these comments, because these comments is funny. It shows you the mindset of this society and why adultery is damn near nothing new. It's extremely popular in this society. Let's read some of them. So as you can see right here, brother said basically just be single. And basically he was saying that because he knows that the vast majority women don't fit those parameters. They got all these side dudes they used to talk to. They got all these secret crushes who they talk to, still in contact with their exes. So he's basically saying, hey, might as well be single. You got this one chick said, so him and God pretty much, or I can't talk to him either. And that's, again, one of the pitfalls of a woman. She doesn't even understand that the Most High himself wants a woman to only deal with her husband and not deal with any other man. But again, a lot of these women raised up in the Christian church where there's no restrictions in how women should conduct themselves. Because at the end of the day, they understand that the biggest consumer of church and the biggest tithers are females. So all they got to do is just speak and speak on things that allow the woman to feel good, but don't allow her to take any type of accountability. And God loves you. You just got to do this and pray. And you don't have to cover yourself. You can still dress like a thought. You can do all these things. And Jesus is still going to accept you. You know, because all these pastors, they want to feed themselves comparing to feeding the people who actually come and giving them actual knowledge and understanding, right? And then you have other people saying, I disagree. I personally believe a lady should be given freedom. Her own actions will show if she respects you or not. That's when you will take decision to leave or stay. That's true to a certain extent, but also you have to understand when you're going according to the scriptures, it's always best to stipulate these things beforehand compared to allowing a woman to show who she is, because many women can be actors and many women can play a part for years and years and years. So if from the beginning you set up the parameters and you're austere about it, she's going to know what she signed up for, and it's going to be less bullshit that you got to deal with down the line. And then you got other people saying, Cap, you can't control who likes your woman. And that's not the issue. He said that you shouldn't allow a woman to be in contact with a man who likes your woman. So again, he didn't read properly. And you got other people saying this is why women get unhappy quickly, blah, 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 blah. The reason why most women get unhappy quickly is because most women aren't naturally meant to be happy. They're meant to deal with a wide range of emotion. And in this society, the reason why the vast majority of them are unhappy is because they're fighting and resisting what the Most High gave them and in the role that the Most High gave them, which actually gives them fulfillment. And I could keep going on. You got a lot of people talking crazy about, you know, it's one dude said, baby, talk to whoever the fuck you want to talk to. I trust you to not do no goofy shit. That moment you do, it's over. Niggas got to stop being so insecure. And that's why a lot of brothers' mindset is just completely backwards. You know, talk to whoever you want to. Okay, bro. In a society where it's, 50% divorce rate, 55% divorce rate, all these women is dealing with multiple dudes. Okay, bro. You be the dude that let your women just talk to any man on the streets. But anyways, brother, I don't want to make this too long. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Until next time, it's the brother Ash Ibad signing out.